away and kind of focusing more on Tracer play, Pharah play, the Junkrat play, became more famous for it, even running more Genji himself when the flex was required. But I mean, we're a far cry away from some of the cool strategies we saw, some of the dominance we saw from the Foxes previously. This is going to put a lot of the pressure onto MVP Space to perform well with the Widow in the Widow matchup. On defense, obviously they have the advantage with that, but on attack it's going to be a little bit more difficult to handle Just, and Just has come up with some big 1v1 duels against it too thus far. So let's see how the attack for the Foxes goes first, because remember, it's all about line of sight here in this matchup. Overwatch's the first one in that line of sight.
Okay, well, it's getting better. Foxes do manage to find 2 kills, so the DPS line from MVP Space is going to be Shatter. Nice headshot coming through onto Undyne, but not going to be able to get the pop onto that Roadhog. Yaki going to be the one getting rezzed in. Toon can shoot from longer range, so just let the Widowmaker kind of run back. Barrier's going to be set up in onto the point, but this Junkrat from Undyne is going to be shattering them time and time again. Hook comes through, Stand 1 going to be taken out of the mech just under fire. As Foxes, we'll see if they can actually shoehorn their way to success, but these hook ult combos are looking so well practiced from the side of MVP Space. Undyne comes up with another one.
Does he get the hook on the Tracer? Does he get it? I think he does.
Like,
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
I know you want that Mega Pack, Genie.
Oh.
Right. He's not going to find it this time. There's still time. You know, Genie still exists in the back line. He's going to have more opportunities, so he might get it at some point. We'll find out. But
the key is they shut down the first push. They burst down the Orisa here with the right clicks and the hook combo there from the halt. And it's just, you know, they switched Genie over to the triple DPS style here, but he's just not able to flank or really find any success yet. Dragon Strike is going to be ready. He's got full vision.
Well, it's going to be Yaki tossing his own. Sassen answering. Runs it down the line. He's just going to find 3. No grab, no problem.
Huge misplay from
break
MVP.
this open. Undyne does finally kill Genie, as I'm sure you're happy about there. Well, I'm not sure if it was off the backside of a hook, but he'll die. And man, just couldn't get out of the way fast enough. MVP Space just get split in 2.
That was a huge misplay by MVP Space. They tossed out their Dragon Strike and thought that the pressure of that alone would allow them to stand in this choke. They did not either know or account for the fact that Sashin had his strike ready. He had full vision with the Sonic Arrow, which MVP Space can, you know, obviously tell when he's tossing that out. And they just lined up in a perfect line for him to do that. I think he wins it off of them alone. I
think I can honestly say that's the first time that I was genuinely surprised and excited about a Dragon Strike, because it wasn't just the grab combo where it's like, well, I guarantee the kills now. Like I just get them, I win.
There was the one from Illicit on Gibraltar, but yeah, these are the 2 big ones.
Yeah, there was that one as well. But okay, Foxes. Can they try to snowball? Really just have that self-destruct, speaking of which. One's going to be tossed in from Bianca, answering from Stan, but the Baby Diva's going to get popped. So just a waste on the ult. Jungmak will have the supercharger in a moment, but not sure if that's going to be enough to get them in onto the point. MVP Space just going to be farming for some ultimates here, trying to get Yaki that Dragon Blade, and he's already 30% away. Now 20%, as he just explodes forward, keeps picking up kills. And honestly, yeah, he's going to have it. Okay.
It's a pretty
well, Sassen, can you do it again?
It's a pretty rare sight to see Yaki pull out this Genji, but you know, it's one of his heroes he's played throughout the years. And you know, given the compositions, the mobility that the Genji gives you with the Toon on the Widow means that your DPSs are always going to be able to avoid getting hit by the Winston, avoid getting dove on, and getting caught into bad situations with Dragon Strikes, for example. Also, with this pop, if the... Okay, here's the strike. Hold on.
Up onto the high ground, finds one. That's going to be Fuse falling. Still a crucial kill, but now the Dragon Blade is out from Yaki. Dashes forward, finds one onto Orochi. Deflection going to come up, trying to mitigate the damage from the Widowmaker. Not going to find the deflection shot. Will get taken down by Stand 1. Exchange on both sides, but Foxes suffer heavy losses. The tanks are chunked out. They don't have the healers there, so they can't push in.
What I was going to say before that strike came out was that sometimes when you play this style with the Foxes, where you have your poking snipers at the back and the tanks at the front, there's a huge disconnect because the tanks have to lead, right? And the snipers have to be far away, so you can pull your blade then. That's what he did. He didn't get as many kills as he wanted, but he got enough to where they got the respawns through. They have the advantage now in terms of heroes. Storm Arrow whiffs here, unfortunately. That's such a huge tool. It's on a pretty short cooldown, but still, you feel bad when you don't get an explosive amount of damage with that.
Sign up, Overon going in deep, has the primal range. To stay alive, we'll have to pop that. The Discord Orb taking him low, and Jungmak will be eliminated at the same time. Just tossing in an ult for fun, just to, get further delays coming through. 3.5 minutes remaining for the side of the Foxes. So still possible to get this point B cap, as they would really, oh, that's so crucial. I'm gonna stand out of that mech. He's gonna have to jump off the side.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say with this comp, I don't think the Widow makes sense. You're not really going, who are you trying to kill with the Widow? You're trying to kill a Toon, he's always gonna have line of sight advantage. You're always gonna be vulnerable to the Genji defender. Even with the Tracer swap they now pull through, unless Sashin can really pop off, if the tanks leave, the Genji kills the supports or kills the snipers, depending on which ones are left behind. So how can you really get a line of sight onto a Toon here as Just? Like, it's almost impossible. Those is positioning here on the left side. Like, he's waiting for people to come out of the gate, which if MVP Space plays defensively, they never will.
Yaki's got another blade in for sight, ready to go for a Toon. Genie is holding on to that Transcendence, which could be crucial in denying this blade away from Yaki.
Okay, finds Undyne.
Good opening kill. Sneaking around the back, Sauce. I'm going to be looking for a Toon. Dragon Blade's going to be out. Takes down Just. Genie's going to be dead. Can't use that Transcendence. The rest of the team so far forward here onto the point. Bianca uses the self-destruct. Just to finish off any members that they could possibly find. They'll get the delay kill there on the Sauce. And goes off the side.
I feel like I've seen this movie before. I've read this before. This is a repost, okay?
Yep.
No
original content here.
No original content, man. And once again, the Foxes lead with their tanks. Just gets a kill, sure, but he's caught alone. Does take out a Toon. Okay, this is, again, really good shots, good accuracy, and I think a little bit of mistakes by MVP Space positionally, but he needs more than that. They need to control the point now. They have the Empress sight. Let's see what he can do with it.
Well, Toon swapping over to the Tracer. They're going to be seeing this one. The Valkyrie coming down. Undyne's going to fall. Just finds another pick-off. That's going to be 3 in a row for him, and now Genie escorting everybody forward with the Transcendence. OWC nearly with a Valk of his own. Should take to the skies immediately, but Just is going to be eliminated by Oberon with that Primal Rage. Oberon into the backside, looking to get rid of that very vulnerable Zenyatta. They're able to do so, and just like that, Foxes going to be shut out of this push, despite the heroics from Just coming up with a 3K. Res comes back into Genie, so maybe they're still going to try to shoehorn their way through. Just is going to swap over to that Genji now, try to duke it out with Yaki. Nearly has another blade ready to roll. He has just been building these up pretty rapidly in big bursts. He was just at 70% a second ago, now finds himself 3% away.
The way that Sashin plays Tracer does not allow for, we're going to have further staggers here. The way that Sashin plays Tracer does not allow for consistent damage. So even though Just was able to get 2 kills and then eventually 3 kills there, and they used the Transcendence, they got onto the point, what does Widow do then? Is she using her assault rifle to try to mow people down? If she doesn't get those big follow-up headshot kills and pop off like Edison, then it doesn't matter that you have a Widow here because you can't control the point. The respawn's coming faster from MVP Space. They need a little bit more oomph in their push. Now they've got the Genji, which is going to take a long time to build Dragon Blade. 22 seconds is not enough time here to really have a realistic chance at making that happen, but they're going to try.
Oberon poking up. He's playing high. Toon finding Sassin. Tries to take him out. Forces him to kite back. It's 10 seconds remaining. Yaki trying to get rid of OG. Dashes to the side, cuts up into the air, and Bianca finds a kill. And Just, I think, just falls off the map. Will get eliminated. So any hope of a Dragon Blade now going to be shut out as Jungmak will also fall. OG going to be forced out. Stan going to be alone here onto the point. Jumps out, goes down that self-destruct, gets a kill on the Yaki. Makes it back into the mech, but the pulse immediately comes down. He'll get pooped away. And it seems like it's just going to be the hold here on the B. Self-destruct just to zone them back. A final tag in will come through as Sasa tries to keep their hopes alive. But the Discord Orb is going to be a bit too much. They push them away from the point. Overwatch barely scoops his way through.
Here's the blade.
Still up in the air, and he's just going to get taken down as soon as the blade comes out. Overwatch swatted out of the sky like up off. And the hold will come through. A nice point A attack off the backside of a triple kill on the Dragon Strike from Sassin. But otherwise, complete and ultimate shutout here by MVP.
I mean, we saw Just on the Genji there for just a moment, and I think a lot of people will be like, well, he's just not a Genji player. Clearly, he died, he fell off the side. And that may be true, but I think that you've got to know what comp you're going to run. You have to be willing to be flexible, and they were not. He was flexible on the McCree on point B of the Blizzard World map that we just saw previously. But in this case, switching very, very much too late. They didn't have a lot of power in their push. They didn't have any way to get those consistent kills. To get a B cap on Assault, you practically need a full team wipe. And if you're just running Tracer Widow, especially with Sashin's Widow Tracer playstyle, where he's looking for backline picks more than consistent damage, it's just so difficult to actually snowball that into a B cap. They couldn't even get a single tick. And his death just probably was trying to dash kill someone and then reset to get back onto the map. Missed the kill, so didn't get the dash reset, and then just dashed off the side. These things happen to like top players all the time. Usually not in actual televised matches, but I mean, look, everyone's human at the end of the day. But just the lack of switching until the end says a lot about the Fox's hero pools. Says a lot about how well they prepared for this. I think they prepared a lot. I think they came into this with really very focused strategies. But unfortunately, like, sometimes when you prepare really hard for one strategy and you scrim it a lot, you run it a lot, and you go, okay, this is what we're going to run, we're going to take full Sky if we lose hybrid, and then it's not working, you have to be willing to be like, okay, well, coach said run this, but I think it's time to make a swap. They didn't do that until very late. MVP Space now on the defense, or excuse me, on the attack. They're going to be running Undyne once again on this Roadhog, it looks like. It's double sniper. Same sort of style that we saw from the Foxes. Let's see if they can make more follow-up kills. Let's see if they can actually make this comp look very strong.
Well, everyone just moving up towards the choke. Oberon going to be taking a hell of a lot of poke damage here. And Foxes, they really need those ult hooks to be on point. He managed to draw in Undyne, but he's going to be fine. Takes a breather. Bumps himself up, gets some ult charge. Raptor's going to be eliminated. The barrier already broken. Massive ult comes through. Hook in onto Genie. He'll stay alive. Answering hook onto Undyne, but he's not going to go down. And Yaki finds the opening kill with Storm Arrow. Res going to be forced out from Overwatch. He takes some shots, but Attune gets rid of just now. The Widowmaker not going to be having that backline flank. Oh, Yaki! Come on, man!
What in the world? That
They're already down and out, and you're gonna do Saucin like that? You're gonna get that fadeaway headshot? Come on, man! Woo! Pushes in, gets rid of Overwatch. This is going to be the cap on the A coming through. MVP Space going to have about a 7-minute time bank and need to just get one single tick on B to close it out.
They're going to have everything but the Valkyrie here pretty much to push it in. I mean, the Supercharger would be cool and all, but it's like not even really required in the push. In fact, Oberon might even consider a switch. I was going to say, I couldn't decide whether I want to say swap or switch. Lost my words, Achilios. I just can't talk anymore. I'm a mute. Let's see how Foxes try to execute the defense. They put Sashin back on the Tracer. And here's the Dragon Strike to lead.
Max out of there. Yeah, just gonna buy some space here onto the point. Tune will go down. Sashin finds a kill. Undyne. Oh, canceled hook.
Yeah, it did connect. Let's remember that happened.
Yeah, he did land it. He did land it, but because he doesn't get the kill, that allows Sasha to push forward, takes out Yaki, and Fuse will die as a result. So MVP Space is going to be halted, but 6 minutes to get a single tick.
Look at this. First fail on the push, switching heroes. Undyne, he's got whole hog, but it doesn't matter because it's not useful in any way. Sometimes I think a lot of solo queue players can learn.
You push them off the point, Wolf. You only need a single tick.
I think a lot of solo queue players can learn from, you know,
from the pros, really?
It's not actually ults that matter, it's hero compositions that matter more.
Yeah, that takes precedence for sure.
Okay, look at this, getting up onto this high ground already. They're just trying to force Yaki into position to build a quick blade. They've got so much time.
Well, Yaki just going to be right-clicking away, wraps around, joins in with the rest of the squad. Self-destruct up from Bianca, going to find the pick up there on the Jungmak, now no Winston. Stan just going to be sitting in the center of the point. Has his own self-destruct, can buy some time, and Just is actually going to be over onto the far instead of Sassin as he sticks with the Tracer. Firing down from above, getting a lot of hits in, building up for that barrage pretty rapidly. Self-destruct from Stan, not going to find anything though. We'll get back into the mech as Oberon dives forward, trying to get rid of Overwatch. But Fuse is actually going to be the bar going down as Just follows up, gets a double kill here onto the supports. It's an MVP Space will be kiting back. They have time for eco pushes. Yaki nearly has the Dragon Blade, and that might just be able to break things open here for MVP to get the win.
Jungmak is actually doing a lot right now to weaken the DPSs on the side of MVP Space, and he's surviving well. He has a Primal Rage that he built very quickly. Overon obviously with the later swap as well, but still he built it faster. So they're going to switch Undyne back over to the Zenyatta, Attune back over to the Widow. This is like really intelligent swapping coming out from space, so now they can try to burn down the Winston, who's really been the opener every time. Forcing out a Primal already.
They're going to be used, just use the barrage, but the defense matrix is there from Bianca to deny it away. Fuse has the res onto Oberon, but Jungmak follows up, gets rid of that pesky Mercy. Now no more reses to be found, but
it's all the Zenyatta pick.
Will get taken down.
Look at this, so smart by MVP Space. They're just crushing it now. Jungmak can't do what he was before.
The Score Orbs comes through, now there's going to be no tanks available. The Deflection coming and gets the hit! Yaki! Oh, this guy is disgusting! Knocks it straight back in. Transcendence going to be forced out here by Genie. Swipes coming through, but Yaki not going to be able to get the kills here in the end. Bianca will get taken down, so maybe he gets the flashy kill, but it might be all for naught here on this push. Platoon will get taken down. Foxes maintain their holds for now. As Undyne will fall, but he's got that Transcendence to help escort MVP in on the point. But oh god, man, Yaki.
It was that
too much for me.
It was the incredible focus fire onto Jungmak there on the attack from MVP Space. They had all the tools to make this into a wonderful push, but Genie shut it all down with a Transcendence. It's almost as if in that moment Yaki got super hyped, forgot that Transcendence exists. The enemy is in Yada has a Transcendence. You never want to pull your blade like that until the Transcendence is forced in most cases. Maybe he was hoping that Genie would just not use it, because that did happen on Blizzard World earlier, but you know, that's a pretty weird hope to have at this level of play. Yeah. Now he switches back to the Tracer, and suddenly MVP Space in the same situation the Foxes were just earlier.
Yep. 3 minutes. Still strong on the time. Vegas Justice going to be the first one focused down. Good opening frag. Yaki's dead, however. Genie comes up with a kill. Nearly has another Transcendence. Should be able to build that one up pretty rapidly. Attune getting shot up. Has a really bad angle. Red's going to come through onto Yaki. Jungmak very far forward yet again. Pops a primal range to stay alive. He tries to disrupt MVP Space. Undyne taking a lot of damage. He's going to be cornered for the pockets here from Fuse to help keep him alive. He's putting himself in danger as well, as Bianca will get taken down out of that mech, and it looks like he's just going to dive off the side as MVP Space goes for a reset.
It's not looking good, man.
It's not. It's very scrappy.
Because they got no ticks, you know, this could end up being a tie situation actually, but I don't know. I want to say that MVP Space had all the right tools, and then they switched to the Tracer play. I don't know exactly what the reasoning behind switching Yaki back to the Tracer was here, because they face the same problems. They have line of sight issues against Just. They have, you know, a Tracer player again who's not known for his consistent damage, more for his pick style. He's better than Sashin at that, I'd say, but even still, this is a really tough ask trying to force this in.
Oh, dive forward from the Foxes to get the kill onto Undyne as they look to force that draw. Discord Orb onto Overon, and he'll stay alive here for the moment, but Fuse is too low to try to go in for the res. After trying to answer something back, has the pulse ready, but the delay here on that Zenyatta is likely not going to be able to find much of an opening yet. A minute and a half now remaining. Foxes looking to draw this up. Unfortunately, would not count as a map win for them, but
well, I mean,
it would
Jungmak is doing so much for them for the same reasons why the Foxes had issues with this comp on attack. MVP Space is having issues because their tank line and their sniper and support line get cut in half when Oberon and Bianca try to make plays, and they're getting punished by Sashin, Jungmak, stand one. It's just a systematic, repeated process here. Now they're going to try to, again, to put the tanks up on the high ground. Where does that leave their sniper at the back doing nothing? Attune is unable to get anybody. You can see he's in that line of sight. Just has the advantage. If they dive Just, they leave the support line open.
Yep. Sasin and Yaki both going to be duking it out. Just coming in as Bianca's knocked down to about half HP, and Attune is nearly out of the fight. Needs to get healed up, as does Overon. He's going to be getting focused down. He does not have a primal range to stay alive. Pushing forward here. Sasin manages to get the kill, baits away with that recall. And now Undyne under fire, doesn't want to use that Transcendence, but it's 20 seconds remaining. They have to get into here. Foxes might actually be able to pull off this draw.
Yeah, looks like
massive staggers.
I think they're going to do it.
Wow.
You know, they're giving MVP Space a taste of their own medicine here with the comp they've chosen. Fuse onto Lucio for speed. They've got a support ultimate. Yaki's picked. That should very likely just end this.
I mean, Oberon's going to have to jump in here. He's only got 100 HP. He's going to get done back, and yeah, they will pull it off. 1-1, the tie comes through. So will not be a map win on the board for the Foxes, but it is just about as close as it gets.
I think they really should have continued to focus on Yaki's Genji. More mobility, more burst potential. You know, the ability to get a 2K or a 3K is so much more relevant than Tracer being able to harass. Misunderstanding what their opponents were doing, I think, is what both teams did on this map and why both teams failed to get a single tick. You basically have protect your support line with your tanks, get, you know, opening kills with your tanks, and then and those are the two things like the tanks can do, right? You have to kind of pick one. If you're diving in trying to deal with the Widow who has line of sight advantage, you're going to get discorded, and everyone's going to collapse onto your tanks. Or if they're paying better attention and are prepared for this, as both defending teams were, they're just going to go kill your Widow and or your support line, because the supports cannot come in with the tanks. That doesn't make sense. So we've seen this a lot on Volskaya, but the best teams on Volskaya will, like Runaway for example, will just continue to run the dive. They will force those big kills. And it was that moment where Yaki pulled the blade against Genie and Genie Transcendence, where like for some reason that in the MVP Space squad's mind said, oh, well, this is just the bad comp, like this isn't gonna work. After they got opening kills, they got the perfect blade setup, got the deflection kill on the Pharah, and then if he just held his blade in the longer fight, they probably would have gotten those kills. Yeah. Or he just keep the Genji even after it failed. You could see the potential there for this comp to do well. The enemy Pharah was also there, was switched, and Genji doesn't counter Pharah, but neither does Tracer. So it was just kind of a weird situation there. They took a comp that was clearly working well, and then switched it the same comp the Foxes struggled to win with, and MVP Space also failed. So kind of weird. I mean, I look at it, it's like, from our perspective, watching the games, for the bird's eye view and the observers looking at both sides, and how we could see like where the tanks are moving and where the supports are, where the snipers are trying to position, like it's really easy to be like, no, this is wrong. But I just don't think it was necessarily the right move. It's just more baffling that MVP Space had a comp that was working well and then switched away from it.
Well, these are the bottom two teams in the group, Wolf. So some things will just remain a mystery forever. But we have our second draw of the season. Fox is able to tie things up there on Volskaya. But can they win on Escort? That is the question. We're about to find out, because we're going to Rialto.
Well, this is not a surprise. This is MVP picking their map, where Oberon can do well, Yaki on the Pharah. There's no surprise that this is what they end up choosing here. So find out now what sort of compositions the Foxes want to run. Remember too that the Orisa Roadhog combos on A are going to be very potent, so we've already seen that Undyne and Oberon have won that out. Like, they're definitely the better halt into hook combo players at the moment versus the ones that we have seen on the side of the Foxes. So it looks like a grim outlook thus far here.
It does. But we'll see. Maybe the Foxes can pick up this win and extend us to Achilios for that tiebreaker. It'll be their first official map win.
Yeah, the series is over, right? Because the series ended. I never really thought about the series ending on a tie, but they cannot win 2 maps now, and MVP already has 2. So even if they win this, like, I think it's just over.
Is that how?
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay, maybe.
I'll have to get confirmation on that. I would assume that's how it works, but there might be special rules for that. I think that
you might be right. You might be right. See, we don't have very many draws in
no, we don't.
In Contenders here. But okay, here we go. Rialto yet again. Been a very popular map, at least in Contenders Korea. But Yaki just going to be starting to push off on this defensive Pharah, as you were talking about. We have Bianca here with the Zarya. Foxes not opting in for the right matchup, has the Orisa. The Orisa's going to be the first one to fall, but Genie does manage to get rid of Yaki, so that alleviates a lot of pressure from above. The rest will be coming through, so Fuse puts them straight back in, as we have a very close range Widow battle, and it's just going to be a melee finish as the tune comes out on top.
Well, this is not a surprise that it would start off like this. I mean, they do try to run the kind of hook Orisa like we were talking about earlier with Genie on the Roadhog. But, again, Oberon on the Reinhardt, his favorite hero, his best hero, all the way back from the beginning of Apex. Genie's not a bad Roadhog by any means, but they're just getting shut down super hard. So Oberon's showing his prowess here, and Yaki's just able to circumvent everybody just on the Widow now. Can he find a shot onto the Pharah? It's tough when you've got enemy Widows who have line of sight on you and now have the Empress sight on you.
He would have loved for Oberon to push around that corner, but instead just has to take a pot shot at Genie. Doesn't do a whole lot
looking for the shatter.
But now it's going to be ready. He tosses it out, but I don't know if he actually caught anybody with that one. I think everyone was kiting away into the building. So I think that might have been a bit of a waste by Oberon.
No, it doesn't end up being too impactful either way.
Yeah, no kills came through, so I'm expecting that he actually completely whiffed that one. Barrage from above, however, from Yaki will find some targets. We'll get rid of Jungmak right as Oberon falls, but also gets Stan out of that mech. And Sasson will take a rocket to the base.
Yeah, staggering kills now. You know, this is not a big shocker when the Widow loses to the Pharah 1v1 in this case, where you're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, you don't have any mobility. But the Foxes, it hurts, man. It feels bad. Genie's going to swap over to the Zenyatta here, and we will see them attempt to try to discord their way through this tank line. But again, with Sashin and just on these heroes, if you discord Oberon, he's just going to have a barrier, he's going to have a bubble. Your best discord target is probably realistically the Pharah, honestly, but you know, if you're hitting a Pharah with a Widow, it probably doesn't matter whether the discord is there or not. If you're hitting the proper headshots, it's going to be for Transcendence, I guess, in one way defensively to counter some of these combos coming out, but gotta worry now. You know, you ran the meta comp, it didn't work, you gotta switch to the Winston. Shatter here is almost ready for Oberon. He did lose his shield.
Nearly has it, but Yaki yet again coming over the top, gets rid of that Baby Diva. And Foxes, minute 15 remaining as Yaki tries to get those follow-up stagger kills. Won't be able to do so, but minute remaining, under threat of a full hold coming through. They nearly have that barrage with the grab combo ready to roll.
The reason why Zenyatta is not really meta in Overwatch League and is falling out of the meta on a lot of these maps right now is because you already have burst damage with this comp. You don't need the discord that much. You'd rather just have more pick potential on the tanks so you can flank. You have a sustainable tank. That's why the support flexes over to the Roadhog in this meta. But they're just not willing to do that here. And they want to put Genie back onto one of his more comfortable heroes to try to transcend their way into a sustained fight win. But MVP Space is pretty much at the big 6 right now.
Flanker on the backside is what they're trying, but they do get spotted out here by Yaki. He'll get left on, the barrage comes down, finishes off Just and Jungmak. They were trying to get the kill onto the Pharah, but he just turns it right around on its head.
That was kind of silly at this point. That's like, maybe he's got, you know, like Miro sneakers on in there, but it's you know, his passion and his love for Miro's Winston play may not be enough in this case. 8 seconds left. Looks like a full hold. They did not have to use either of their tank ultimates. They can just hold them for the last minute contest.
I mean, Foxes don't have any tank ultimates now, which is going to be a big problem. Can't even buy space with a self-destruct or a primal range. Jungmak's already chunked down to about half. Genie likely just going to have to use his Transcendence to keep everybody in the fight and alive after the Shatter comes down. As Oberon lines it up, tosses it in, going for the pin. Knocks stand out of the mech, maybe? No! Barely manages to stay alive.
Good transcends here by Genie.
Decently high energy coming through, just going to pin that grab straight in onto the guard as they try to get rid of that Diva. Genie's going to be the first one to fall as soon as that Transcendence does expire. Jungmak dropping the bubble, Primal Range is going to be ready to go, buying some time, but still, as effectively 3 members dead on his team, as Stand 1 still going to be in that pilot form, and Jungmak will fall in the end as soon as he finds that final shot. No one going to be tagging in. Raj, a party one here from Yaki. They execute the full hold, and Foxes looking to suffer the loss here.
Yep. I mean, there's not much else to add here. Like, they just totally got shut down. They try to run the Zenyatta comp. The Foxes fans here in the front row, more than the front row, in fact, a lot of Foxes fans end up showing up in the end. Like, the whole audience is Foxes fans, but it's going to still be, it looks like, a winless season. You know, if they can't take a win off of MVP Space, a tie does not qualify, then, you know, it looks like the 019 at least is going to happen because, you know, they couldn't take a map, they couldn't take Full Sky, they couldn't make their strategy work on Blizzard World, and now it's literally MVP Space's best map, Rialto. They have players for the positions to make this incredible. They have options. They have, you know, they have the ability to, like, run the Orisa Roadhog. They can run the Reinhardt Zarya. There's just so many things they can do. And I don't know. I don't have answers for those who wonder, like, what can the Foxes do? What gives them the miracle fuller hold? Like, what is the answer? There is no answer. I think we're just going to have, this movie doesn't have a happy ending. If you're a Foxes fan in the audience right now, this was a tragic season. They lost, in my opinion, their best player, Adora. They tried to make it work with newer players, Just and Ace, and it just was not meant to be. I'm hoping we'll see a better performance from them in Trials, but this just feels like, even though they got 1 series left, the coffin is closing. It's being lowered, the casket. Not going to run the Roadhog here. They're just going to stick with what was working already. They're going to keep the Hanzo and go for that old school Rialto combo here.
Well, pushing forward. They're nearly at the finish line, Wolf. Foxes didn't go very far. Yaki is going to be spamming away, nearly halfway to that Dragon Strike stand. Going to be taken down off the bat. Sauce and falls. Pin not going to hit anything from Oberon. Actually gets an answering pin here from Jungmak, but he will be able to stay alive. As Foxes desperately try to get this cart halted right around the corner. Jungmak going low. Jungmak going down. Undyne able to find the kill. Just will alleviate some pressure by getting rid of a tune, but Yaki jumps around the side. And it's 2.76 meters, and it's going to be the end of the series.
There you go.
MVP, close it out. Get the win. The 3-0 as we had the draw on Volskaya. Foxes can't pick anything up and now look to go 0-19 after the draw there in this season.
There you go. I mean, they've still got an opportunity to take maps off of 7, but it is not going to be an easy series. That will be on Saturday. MVP Yaki. He's definitely my vote. We'll see with the Korean commentators and our votes together who is chosen as MVP. But MVP themselves are the victors tonight. They showed again that they are a coordinated team. They know how to play a dominant style. They've got great players. This is just a reminder that the level of play from Season 1 to 2 and the meta has changed a lot. And MVP Space looks stronger with it. Given a weak opponent here, they absolutely smashed. Like, a lot of people, I think, would have looked at this and said, well, these are the weaker 2 teams in the group. This might be a close series. But if you've been paying attention to MVP Space, everyone knows that they've looked stronger and stronger match by match this season. Way better than they did in Season 1. This is a tight-knit roster. This looks really good for them. This meta suits Oberon. They've got a tune in here. So it's not really a big shocker the series ends up being one-sided. The tie on Volskaya, I think with some composition problems from both sides. But MVP Space ends up being the dominant team here. They've still got a shot at that final playoff spot, at that 4th place. They will, of course, have to defeat Element Mystic in order to make it happen, but there's always a chance. There's always a shot.
You know, sure. We'll go with that one. We'll go with the positive storyline here for MVP Space because there isn't one for the Foxes. So we have to be supportive of somebody at the end of this series. MVP Space pull it off, take down Element Mystic, and just shatter everybody's expectations with that final. I think it's the final match actually of the regular season. It is. It's the last one that happens. What a way to explode into the playoffs that would be if MVP Space was just sandbagging that hard to take down Element Mystic right at the last second.
You know, anything is possible. We've seen crazier things. We saw Utordiant beat Element Mystic.
Sure.
I don't know if that's a crazier thing, but it was pretty crazy at the time.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would be crazier, but it certainly would be right up there. There'd be very similar levels of craziness coming through if MVP
I would agree,
could pull that off.